Have an emergency? Eton to the rescue. Hey, this is Buzz Stone with episode 47 of AirWaves. In this episode, we'll be discussing radios in general and emergency preparedness. It's next on AirWaves.
Buzz Stone's AirWaves.
Buzz back with episode 47 of AirWaves, and we're talking about emergency preparedness. Specifically with the Eton brand. They have a large selection of radios designed specifically for emergency situations and also for everyday use as well. And I've got a few examples here that I've collected over the years. I'll go through them one at a time. Eton is, I think, a pretty good brand. They make a decent radio. You'll also see Grundig radios that have the Eton. They're made by Grundig. They have the Eton brand on them. So there is some kind of coalition going on between those two brands. But as I said, a large variety of radios for emergency and everyday use. And I'll go through them one at a time. Of course, when we're talking about emergencies, it could be anything. If you're on the coast, it could be a hurricane, flooding from a hurricane. If you're on, say, the west coast of the United States, of course, they have forest fires there, are a big problem. Earthquakes all over the world. Tornadoes here in the U.S., specifically, especially in the Midwest. Could be a blizzard anywhere where it gets cold. So, there can be all kinds of emergencies, and you never know when the power is going to go out and you need a radio to find out what's going on out there. So, again, I'll go through these one at a time, and I'll start with the smallest and move on up to the biggest one here. The first item we have here is not really a radio. It's actually a self-powered hand crank flashlight. It is made by Eton, and you'll notice that there's also the American Red Cross logo on there. Several of these radios have that on there. Eton has teamed up with the American Red Cross to build this line of emergency radios and devices. And as I said, this is a self-powered hand crank flashlight. Here's one in the original packaging. If you're looking for it in the store, you can see it's called a ClipRay, and it is a flashlight, but it's more than a flashlight. And like most emergency devices, it does have the hand crank generator for charging the battery in it. And as we said, it is a flashlight. As you can see, it's a pretty bright flashlight, but it also is a phone charger. So you have your standard USB port here on the side, so you can charge your Android or Apple iPhone with this, and it has a carabiner clip on top. So you can clip this to a pack or your a belt loop or your purse strap, whatever you've got. So it's a pretty handy device. Again, it's called the ClipRay, and it's the only device we'll take a look at here today that's not a radio, but I think it's a good thing to have. I keep one in my vehicle at all times. The next device is an Eton FRX1. Now, another thing you'll notice, you'll find this quite often, is this is LL Bean on the display here. That's another company that they teamed up with at some point, LL Bean. You'll find quite a few different radios with that on there if you're looking for them. By the way, all of these, except for the first one I showed you, the ClipRay, I purchased on eBay used. Except this one I found in a thrift store. I think I paid $8 for it, and it was in like new condition. Again, it's the Eton FRX1. Now this one is a radio. It's a AM and FM. Okay, and as a matter of fact, one thing about this, it's not very loud, and really you're going to need to use headphones with it. And it does have a headphone jack here in the bottom, along with a AC charging port if you got a wall wart to charge it. This did not come with one, but it wouldn't be hard to find one that does come with it. It has an internal battery that you can charge, and of course it has the obligatory flashlight, pretty good little flashlight. The antenna is adjustable up and down and whatever position you want, so you can set the radio like this, or you can set it like this, either way that you prefer. And of course it has the hand crank generator. So that's the FRX1, the LL Bean edition. I think these came in some different colors as well. The first one I showed you, the ClipRay, I've only seen it in red, but it may be made in other colors. But again, a good little radio, compact in size, something you could keep easily in your vehicle or your get-home bag. So that's the FRX1. This next one is one I had my eye on for a long time, and they were rather expensive. I mean, I think around $79 when they were new. This is a Scorpion 2 made by Eton, and I just recently found this on eBay, brand new in the box, I got it for $18 including shipping, which is a real steal. This is a well-made, rugged radio. This one, the main difference in this one from the previous one is it also has a solar panel on it, so it will charge the internal battery. And again, it has the carabiner clip, like I showed you on the ClipRay. It has the antenna, again, which can be moved around, up and down. Has a radio in it, and it has a digital clock on there, which also has an alarm setting, so you can set an alarm with this. Of course, has the hand crank generator. Even has a bottle opener on there, so if you're camping or something, you got a bottle of drink you want to open, you got that on there. And it's a good, rugged radio. Oh, also, this one has a headphone jack up here, has a USB port for charging, and you can also charge a telephone with this one as well. So it's a good device to have. By the way, the flashlight, this is a very, very bright flashlight. So another good small emergency radio that you could keep in your vehicle or in your get-home bag or bug-out bag, whichever you've got. But that's the Scorpion 2, and as I said, I just recently got this on eBay, so there may still, the guy I bought them from had several. I think he had them listed for $20, and I had it on my watch list and didn't buy it, and he sent me an offer to get it for $18, so I snapped it up. A real steal for this radio, the Scorpion 2. The next radio we have here, this is the Solarlink FR-600. Again, you'll see the American Red Cross logo on there. And this one, I think I may have seen this in white as well, although I think red is probably the most common color. This is a multi-function radio. It's got a very good AM tuner on it for picking up, if you like to DX, listen to distant AM stations. Works very well. Has FM on it as well. And this one has lots of devices on it. It has a flashlight, has a siren, the light on the side has a bright mode, a low mode, and it has an SOS mode. It has a red LED that will come on in the center there. And as you can see, it takes AA batteries, 3, and it also has an internal backup battery, lithium-ion battery, or this one actually may be a nickel metal hydride. It's an older radio. Again, another one that I picked up on eBay. This one also has the phone charger on it. That's your AC wall wart charger port there. Or excuse me, that's not. That's well, yeah, it is. That's a DC in, actually, is what they describe it as. So it actually has 2 ways to charge it. That's where you can charge it with a USB device, and it also has the DC 5-volt input. It's basically like a standard cell phone charger. We'll work on that. And then you have an ear jack, and it also has an audio input. So you could use this, say you had your cell phone, you could take the audio out of your cell phone and put it in this to amplify it. And this one also has the solar panel on top. That's why they call it the Solarlink. And of course the extendable antenna. This one is not flexible side to side. It's just up and down. And has a clock on it. Pretty, a large display. It also has weather bands in it, and you can set up emergency alerts for your area. That's called SAME, S-A-M-E. It's an acronym. I forget exactly what it stands for. But very well made. And while holding this, one thing I do want to point out, you'll find it's a common issue with these. Even if you buy them used, but even if you buy them new, if they've been, this new old stock, been in storage a long time, it's got this rubberized coating on it. And over time it gets real tacky. Like I don't know if you can see that, but my fingers are sticking to it. That's a common issue with these. It doesn't affect, the way they work. I did read that somebody said you could use purple power to clean these, and that would get rid of that tackiness because it's a non-corrosive cleaning fluid. They said that it would work well. They didn't recommend alcohol or any other kind of cleaners. Purple power. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to, and maybe if one of you has already done that, you could post down below and tell us what the results were. But again, this is the Solarlink FR-600 from Eton. All right, next on the list, and the last one, this is the Voicelink FR-1000. Now, I just got this in this week. I picked this up again on eBay, and they said that somebody had bought this 8 years ago, just left it in the box and stuck it up on the shelf in case of an emergency. Well, they donated it to some charity, and this was a charity auction with all the proceeds going to the charity. And I ended up getting this for, I believe it was $19 and a little bit of shipping. And again, it's basically a new radio, but it had been in storage for at least 8 years. And even though it was in the box, still all the original wrapping, it looked like it had never been used at all, it's still got that tackiness to it. So again, that is a standard issue with these radios that have the rubberized coating on them. Now, what really sets this one apart from the others is it has all those other features. It has the flashlight, it has the hand crank generator here on the side, radio, clock, weather band. But what really sets this apart is it also is a GMRS radio. It also covers the FRS frequencies as well. And it has this antenna, fold-up antenna up here, which says NOAA on it, which it's also the antenna for the weather radio as well. But what I'm going to do here in a little bit is get out a GMRS FRS radio, and we'll check it out. Actually, I haven't even tried it yet. but it has a built-in microphone right here, and that's for the radio part of it. And you see on the top here, it's in the off position. It also has a battery mode and a dynamo adapter. So you can, it came with an AC adapter. Now this here, what I've got here, this is something I just already had. This actually goes to a Cobra FRS radio. It's a push-to-talk switch, and it fit perfectly into the earphone and mic jack here on the back of the radio. And so this you can use instead of the mic on the front of the radio if you're using it as a GMRS radio. And it also has a phone charger, but for some reason they don't include the cable for the phone charger with this radio. And also it's an unusual one. It's a what you would commonly think of as an input for a charger, you know, from a wall wart. So that's, but it's actually an output, and then of course it needs to go to a USB cable. After doing some research on the internet, I found actually somebody had one of these for sale where they had that optional, and the manual says it's an optional accessory. And but I looked and I have not been able to find one anywhere that you could just purchase by itself. I'm sure, you know, out there somewhere somebody's got one, but it's probably going to take some hunting to find one of those. And again, the battery compartment, this one takes 4 AA batteries, and this has a larger backup battery. It is lithium ion, and this one was not even, the plug here was not even plugged in. And there was a cardboard insert stuck in here. You know, it's never even been pulled out. So, like I say, the radio had not been used at all. But in trying to charge this, after being sitting on a shelf 8 years with no charge on it, this battery is dead. I've ordered a replacement, which was $9.95 on eBay. It's actually a higher capacity battery than this one, which is good. And that was $9.95, including shipping. So, you know, not expensive. At that price you could get 2 and have one charge, have a backup one. This is like a carry handle, but it's also, so if you can set it at an angle, it makes it easy to look at, especially, you know, if you're using it as a GMRS radio. So I'll pause the video here. I'll get out an FRS GMRS handy talkie, and we'll check this thing out together. Okay, I'm back here with an, actually, this is a Baofeng type radio, which of course, the UV5R, which of course can be programmed for FRS and GMRS, as well as the amateur 2 meter, 70 centimeter bands. And so we're going to use this as a test radio. And I've got this Eton Voicelink FR-1000 set up in GMRS mode. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but down here in the lower left part of the display, and let's see here. Anytime you change something, you see the display lights up in green, and I think I saw in the manual that maybe you can change the color of that, but I'm not positive about that. But anyway, this is your band selector over here, and it's in GMRS mode. Again, it has the microphone built into the front here, so we're just going to give this a try. I got it on FRS channel 2, and there's a push to talk button up here on the top. That's this right here. So we'll go ahead and give this thing, of course I'm very close here, so I'm sure we're going to get some feedback. Testing, 1 2 1 2, test. We're on channel 2, FRS GMRS frequencies, testing out the Voicelink FR-1000. So you can see that it does indeed transmit, and that's using the mic here on the front. And as I said, I have the little push-to-talk that I actually came with some Cobra FRS radios I had. They've got this standard 2-prong on there. You know, one's a microphone, one's your earphone. Then it has the push to talk button on it and a single earbud. And off camera I did test this, plugging it into the back. It did work with this radio, so that's another possibility. Or you know, you can buy these I'm sure online. But this would be a great radio, I think, if you're a hunter. You got a base camp set up, you got, you know, you're with other hunters and they've each got their FRS, GMRS handy talkie with them. You can keep this back at the camp and monitor you know, the other guys if you got one guy back at camp. Also, if you were, you know, in a vehicle, you got stranded, you have no cell phone reception where you're at least you've got some kind of radio that you could call for help. Also has the NOAA weather radio, so you can monitor the weather conditions. Say you're stuck in a blizzard somewhere, you'll know if hey, is this blizzard going to continue? Is it going to warm up and I can get out of this mess? But whatever. But a very good general purpose radio, unique from all the others in that it does have the ability to transmit and receive on the FRS and GMRS frequencies. So that's the Eton Voicelink FR-1000. So we've you know, looked at several different radios here, all from Eton. Let's kind of go through them again. The Solarlink FR-600, the Scorpion 2, the FRX1, and then of course the ClipRay, which is not a radio. It's a hand crank flashlight and cell phone charger. Still a great device to have in case of an emergency. So whatever your emergency may be, whether weather related or man caused, it's always good to have a way to monitor what's going on outside wherever it is you are, so you know when it's safe to come out, or you know if the conditions are going to worsen or get better. And even with the this one here, the Voicelink FR-1000, you have the ability to not only listen but to possibly contact other people and maybe call for help or get information on your area conditions. Of course, FRS GMRS range is not great. You're talking about, you know, maybe a quarter mile. You could get reliable communications unless you're at a high point, because it is FM and FM is line of sight. So the higher your altitude, you know, the more range you're going to get with that. But again, this video has been about Eton and their emergency preparedness radios and devices. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already subscribed to AirWaves, I wish you would. And also share this video with any friends that you think could use the information. And we'll see you down the dial.